What is going on, Stonebladers? Today we have a fun little matchup against a deck that I am not too familiar with when it comes to the name. In my opinion, it's like a 4-color land / maybe loam hybrid. You get the Mox Diamonds. I didn't see any loams, but I imagine they were in there. Saw the Sylvan library. So pretty much a variant of that along with the monkey. This is the first time we get to see the monkey against Topic Tundra. I'll give you my thoughts on that. And aside from that, we get to see the power of Brainstorm, the power of Dress Down, the power of Back to Basics, as well as the power of Teferi. Pretty much what you're seeing in my hand. A lot of cool maneuvering in this one, which is why I wanted to talk about it. But either way, we're on the play. I like this hand. It has my least favorite card in the deck. But besides that, I'm not going to be doing any backflips anytime soon, but I'm certainly keeping it on the play. And with this, I'm going to be going Island Pass. When I have a Brainstorm in hand, I like playing Island first because if I play Prismatic and I need to crack it, I don't mind giving away information that I have a basic Plains. I just think it's so much more powerful to keep the fetch land for later so that I can use it to shuffle away crap in my hand. Okay, let me click a few times. Look at this start. Ha! Topic Tundra, meet Ragavan. Oh, nice to meet you. I love that art on that, although depending on when this is going live, I don't know how long this card is going to be around for. It's very similar to Dreadhorde as well as Deathrite in my opinion, but either way, ironically enough, I feel like it's an annoying card. It's not as difficult to deal with. Yes, when they're on the play and they have days, I feel like Urza's Saga is a much more powerful card in my opinion, but It's pretty obvious from a lot of people that it probably should go based upon how many decks are winning. But either way, let's get going with this. The cool thing about the monkey is that Ponder and Brainstorm, there's a lot of cool guessing games that you can do. And in response to it attacking, we're going to be casting Brainstorm. So we get to use the monkey as like a filtering here, which is pretty darn cool if you ask me. So pretty much what we want to do, the card we want to keep, we're going to be putting on top, and the card we want Monkey to take is going to be on the top. So, for example, the bottom card doesn't matter. We're going to be drawing it next turn, so it could be like a Plains. The question is here, what card don't we want? Probably a Volk. They probably got Wastelands. Given their setup, we can always fetch a mountain for this. So it's going to be like Plains and Volk, or X and then Volk. Okay, I did do Plains, so perfect. They get a Volcanic Island. If that was a real one, it'd be a nice little gift, but we're online now, so no big deal. Cool. Perfect. Now, let's see. I can play the Plains or the Prismatic Vista. I believe I went with Vista simply because if I want a shuffle effect, it's up to me if I want to use it or not. Because this is the cool thing where with the opponent, you can kind of play mind games where like, is this person going to be attacking? Are they going to be getting a dead card? It's kind of like back in the day when you go for the Jace Ultimate. It's like, did they put crap on top or something really good because I have a fetch land open and they think that, you know, they're going to crack it. So there's a lot of cool mind games that you can play if you are fortunate enough to have some brainstorms going on. Wow, so this deck is getting all the possible value, just not from the top of my deck, of course. Grove. Okay, so they are still planning on monkeying around. Now, I didn't want to dress down here. I wanted to see if they're going to attack. Oh, wait for it. Yeah, you don't want to brainstorm first and then like they don't attack. That's not good. Okay, so now we can brainstorm. Yes, dress down, and it's just lining up very nicely, but I'm taking my time here because if they're willing to just chip away cards, I am fine with that. Here, let's see, removal's good. It's either Jace or the Tundra. Given the fact that I'm going to be playing eventually I want to play back to basics, it's looking like Tundra is the card that's probably got to go. So here I could see it being like Jace and Tundra, and then I can always shuffle because I don't need an extra Jace. Yeah, that's what I meant, sorry. Tundra and Jace, okay. They can have my Jace. I only need one of those, so I'm good. Either way would have worked. Haha! It's like they play Black Lotus. Damn it! Sorry, wrong format. Anyway, I'm going to want to shuffle here at the end once it's done. Or in the upkeep, either way. Shuffle. Perfect. Ooh, sweet. So there are a couple options that might be obvious or not so obvious. First and foremost, I can just straight up slam a back to basics, but when you think about it, they have a Mox Diamond and a treasure token. That means that they can just keep dashing Ragavan, and now they're actually getting live draws, which means they can play a land, they can get another treasure token, and they can play anything up to 2, which gives them a lot of value, which I don't like. So what I decided to do here is be patient, like for most games that I play and seem to do well in. So I played my Plains, and I took out their diamond. I want to kick out one of their legs, so to speak, because I imagine they're just going to keep dashing the monkey, and they're going to have to pay for it eventually. Like, they need to tap lands to do that, or, you know, use one of these. So did they pick up another land? So far they didn't, and this is really good. So at the beginning of combat, I'm going to stop here. Now I want to dress down so all this gets removed and it no longer has haste. Thank you. This is like another one of those really cool utilities that I was talking about in the Discord for a little. It's like I can always usually find some really cool way to use this, and even when I can't, it's just like a cantrip or it pitches to force. So there's a lot of great things that this can do, especially against creature matchups. If you think about it, like every creature matchup, I wouldn't mind having this in. Death and Taxes is the only thing that gets awkward is because if you have a true name, but there's ways to play around it, obviously. Like if you have 2 or 3 dress downs and 2 or 3 true names, you just gotta obviously play one before the other, or just depends on how the cards come. Goblins is another huge one. Even elves, like I want every advantage possible, and even if using this to stop them from gaining a card or doing something else funky, or turn off their shepherd so that I can plow something or counter something, it's at least a nice utility card to have. Either way, that's going to fog him. This is great. Thank you. Oh, that's actually perfect. So let's give them... Oh my goodness, that is amazing too. This is typical slow control, bounce, and eventually turn the corner. What I want to do here is get rid of the monkey. Okay, so let's do that. Thanks to Dress Down, made possible. So let's play that. Let's get Plains, and let's finally cast Back to Basics. Waiting for the perfect opportunity. Like I said, if you had played that a turn earlier, it would have looked nice because we had 2 down, but they also had the diamond, and that meant that the monkey could have kept dashing. So this was, based upon obviously what happened, the best way of doing it. What do they got? No land last turn, no land this turn. It's not going to get any better. Ooh, that'll help. Sure, let's Time Reveler. His name's Teferi. Get it right. Okay, there we go. Teferi, bounce this. Going nowhere. Draw a card. Pierce. Sure, can't cast it now, but I'm pretty sure they've seen enough. Give it a few clicks, and they have. So that was a really fun game. That's one of those games where if you're the opponent, it's like, how the hell did I lose that? It's like I was pretty much just casting stuff on their turn when it comes to the brainstorms, the dress downs, and waiting for the perfect timing to actually land that back to basics. Like I said, I cast the Prismatic Ending on their diamond, which was nice, kind of like a little 1 for 2, or they obviously took 2 cards for casting that. Then, of course, we got rid of the monkey, we back to basics, we Teferi'd, and from there, probably next turn would have been Jace, unless I got like a Stoneforge. I don't think it really mattered at that point because we're in a really good position. But that was a really fun game. Let's move on to the sideboarding, and we'll go from there. All right, so this is a very odd one. I'm still not 100% sure. This seems like a, it's like a hybrid of lands. Like I said, there's probably some loam in it. They threw Monkey in there. A few other cards, and apparently this deck doesn't like basics, and they paid the price for that the first game. They're probably going to pay the price in the second one, either way. So I did bring in a Surgical, just one, in case they had some funky stuff. Like, you never know if they had like a Depths, Thespian Stage thing going on. If they had Loam going on, like they can get some serious stuff. They do have Urza Saga. We see that in the next game just to give you some more information about what they have. So I imagine if they're playing green and all these other colors, they probably have some life from the loans. Aside from that, it's like Dress Down did very well. Like, I wasn't sure if I brought that in. Containment Priest, if they have Green Suns, I don't think I brought that in. Hull Breacher, did we see them drawing? Was there blue? There was blue. I might have brought that in, and then I think I might have brought like these two in. Like I said, this one was very difficult. It's like I don't really know exactly what they were all about, but based upon the board states in my hand, obviously in the first game, I was able to navigate around it. Based upon all this stuff, like Jitte would probably come out, and I would say 2 Spell Pierces. Everything else seems all right. Like 1 Dress Down I can deal with. But I think that's what it would be. If I knew more of what was in the 75, I'd have a better idea of it. So, but these are definitely come in. Like you can expect usually like a Sylvan library. Obviously they have Moxes, some other stuff. Maybe they're playing Exploration. We didn't see that, but usually with green decks, enchantment stuff is good. That seems like the cards I would bring in. So either way, that's all I got to talk about when it comes to sideboarding. Let's go to the next game. All right, so here we are on the draw. I really like this hand, despite the fact we have, a good amount of lands. We're not going to have to worry about lands. We have no cantrips, but we can deal with a monkey. Are they going to be able to deal with Stoneforge? Teferi definitely has some merit. You've seen it in the last game. I really like Teferi when it comes to keeping smaller board states under control. I like this overall. Let's get going. Probably going to be leading on Flooded Strand here. Against a deck with a ton of non-basics, assuming they probably have Wasteland, these are going to be the better fetch lands, given the fact I can get any basic island, or basic plains, or basic mountain. This, I'm not really wanting to fetch for duels at all, so that's why I'd play this over this. And since I have a ton of fetch lands, I don't mind, playing the Flooded Strand. I talked about in the first game, usually sometimes I'll want to play an island just so I can save the fetch, but I have 2 fetches and I have the Swords to Plowshares, should they want to get a little frisky with the monkey. Okay, Sylvan is good, obviously. My thoughts on this, I remember I played the other control game where it's like, this can really get out of control, but I do have a Stoneforge, so I could have Brainstorm here. Obviously, I would need just any blue card. I don't think I brought in Force of Negation. So I let that resolve, which is, fine to me, obviously. If they're going to, pretty much I'm playing Stoneforge next turn, and they're going to either have an answer for it or aggressively look for it. So I didn't mind that at the time. If I had a Force of Will in the blue card, I probably would have gotten rid of it. But okay, so here I want to play Island. Crack for Plains. Let's play Stoneforge. And we are getting Kaldra 100%. Like I said, this card is just very hard to deal with. It's like, can you deal with Stoneforge for 1 turn? And I know they have 4 cards in Sylvan Library, so probably, but that's fine. If they do that next turn, I have Teferi to at least bounce this. So that's kind of my plan going up. Wow. They paid 8 life. Okay. I mean, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Punishing Fire. So once again, it is along the lines of like a land/loam. Probably got a grove for the Burn Willows in here. 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. You never know. Okay, perfect. That's what I like to see. Okay. Pretty bad draw, but the fact of the matter is that I have Brainstorm and a lot of fetches. I want to deal with this, make them replay it so that they can't draw more cards. So here I want to play Scalding Tarn simply because I can get blue or red for this. This obviously gets blue or red, but it also gets plain. So once again, I'm looking at the lands that I have, and I'm like, which one am I going to want later on because it gives me more options. And since I am not fetching for duels in this, which is pretty much usually how I go, sometimes in control, but some control decks can have Wastelands. Let's bounce this here. Oh, okay. Not bad. If I need to, I can, kamikaze my Teferi, play another. What do they got? Mox Diamond. Okay. Haven't seen any loams yet. Wooded Foothills. Hills. Windswept Teeth. Crackety crack. Okay, as expected, that's fine. There's nothing I can do here, but they don't need to. Like, in a spot like this, I would never F6 and give away that I don't have any Force of Will. People do that sometimes, and I believe it's giving away too much information. Unless, like, you play super slow, but even still, I wouldn't want to do that. Thank you to Fairy, okay? If this wasn't in play, I probably would have gotten Hull Breacher, Brainstorm. Actually, I did have a sword, so it wouldn't have been that bad. So, either way, what do we got? Oof. Okay, so Surgical. Like I said, this was something that I just wasn't sure what I was playing against, so I brought it in as a just in case. Unfortunately, I have a lot of crap in my hand, so I'll probably have to keep that for now. First things first, I'm going to have to plow this. Let's not cast Brainstorm first with Hull Breacher out. Sure. Let's cast Brainstorm. What do we got? Ooh, Hot Mess Express. So we have all of the Prismatic Vistas and a Back to Basics. I mean, I guess forgetting this card, I mean, look at that. I mean, they got 2 mana there, but that's fine. We're putting back Batterskull, Kaldra, or are we? I know when I played this game, I put back both of these, but now thinking about it, I mean, I probably could have just done Kaldra and Prismatic just because I have so much land, and it wouldn't hurt to keep this in my hand now that I think of it. I'm just so used to throwing back equipments that I probably should have thought about this a little bit longer. So I think the best aspect here is Kaldra, Prismatic, and then play Prismatic. But I did Batterskull, Kaldra. I don't need this much mana. So thinking about that now, should have been just Kaldra and a Prismatic going back. And unfortunately, I can't play that. Remember, I had to Swords the Hull Breacher first just to be able to unlock Brainstorm. What do we got behind door number 3? Huh! 4, 8, 6. Wait, what? They paid 16 life? Holy crap. Wait, 4, that's 8. You know how good I am with math when I'm commentating, right? They've paid 16 life. You know how people are like, pay 8 life, you coward? They paid 16, right? There is no cowardry from opponent over here. Uh-oh, this can never be good. Nope. Oh boy. Paradox Zone. I have seen this card before. I think his name is Caleb, MTG. He does some streaming and stuff. And someone played this against him. This is like super snowball-y. I don't know how to explain it. This card is nuts as it gets going, but I do have some ways of dealing with it. Nothing I can do here. Okay, we're going to need to fetch. We don't need land. We don't need Kaldra. We need something that's not land. That'd be nice. And what do we get? We get more land. Wow, look at this. All right, so what do we want to do here? Well, first and foremost, we want to tick up on Teferi so we don't forget. Not like it matters because they can't do anything. I think the obvious play here is going to be just back to basics. We don't have mana bonds, so we can't put all our lands into play. But yeah, being on a serious note, let's play back to basics. I believe it was like island, plains, mountain. Then I can always just, you know, put in a fetch too. Because the plan is to lock them down on land, or at least most of the lands. Next turn I can bounce this, and then I won't have the biggest clock in the world. I think it'll be a 4/4 next turn. At least, you know, I've drawn pretty much almost all of my lands, so there's got to be some good stuff coming up, right? So that was my plan with that. Obviously, I had to tick this up, so I couldn't bounce anything yet. You want to pay 8 more life? You know? I mean, you could, right? So this is aimed at Teferi. Cool. He's soaking up the damage. Very cool. I like that. So there's Saga. I think this card is extremely, extremely powerful. A little bit too powerful for Legacy. That card just wins games on its own. It's pretty crazy, even with all the wastelands and the other stuff going on. So you got the 4/4 there. Like, this thing can get nuts. So next turn they'll have an 8/8. I think it doubles, right? Crazy. Anyway. Oh, wow. Look at this. I am fist pumping right now. We have all lands, almost all the lands. Okay, so this is pretty simple. First and foremost, we do want to tick up so we can at least until your next turn. I believe if I tick this up and it dies, it still stays, correct? Someone want to... I believe it is, because it says until your next turn. I don't think it has to be around. But anyway, we want to do that first. And then here I wanted to Teferi bounce this because they're not going to be able to, you know, they got 1, 2, 3 lands. They're going to need 2 more. And if they do, they're going to have to kamikaze some because they probably don't have many other lands. Most lands deck, like the ones I play, has 1 force and 2 taiga. So they'll have to get diamonds. And if they get a diamond, they're going to need a land to pitch with that. So they're going to be very far away from that. So I could obviously surgical, like say a punishing fire just to see what they have. I didn't go with that. I figured just Teferi bounce. Keep the good one. Oh, perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. That is what I am talking about. That is definitely going to be the roadblock that we are looking for. That's going to be the game winner right there, actually. How are you going to deal with that? They can't, because they're going to block into that. Not much is going to happen. I'm going to attack in 2 turns, and that'll be the ball game. So that was a quick one. I hope you enjoyed that one. That one was a lot of fun, despite the fact I got a little fortunate for the fact that I'm not too sure what's going on with their deck, given the fact that I saw this in both games. That really takes a lot of the pressure off, if you ask me. But for the fact of the matter, there was some cool stuff going on in the first one when it comes to either playing back to basics or using the Prismatic Ending. Then, of course, we were pretty much behind for a good amount of time because we were drawing a lot of crap. That Brainstorm really helped, and thinking about it now, I probably should have kept the Batterskull in hand just to have, because I mean, next turn I could have just hard casted that, and then it's just another creature as opposed to having a land. Like right now in this stage, would you rather have a Prismatic Vista or a Batterskull? And that's just something I should have asked myself. So learn every single time I do these. I learn a lot, which is always a good thing. Either way, another one for the good guys. Whatever that deck is called, I'm going to go with 4-color land / loam / monkey / Urza Saga / Mox Diamond. Something like that. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll talk to you soon.